There are only a handful of franchises as big as God of War. Ever since the first game released in 2005 on the PlayStation 2, every entry after is hotly anticipated, and for good reason. It's brutality on an epic scale, boss battles that make your eyes go wide, stories that question what it is to exist. There's nothing quite like it. After God of War Ascension, I didn't really think the franchise had many places to go. When the 2018 God of War came out, I didn't play it immediately. This new Norse era looked pretty interesting, but I thought I knew what to expect and didn't make it a priority. I should also note that my son was 2 when the game came out, and I had to be cautious of the kinds of games I played in front of him. All of this culminated into me playing both the 2018 God of War and God of War Ragnarok back to back. A week before Ragnarok's release, I decided to finally boot up the game I bought 3 years ago. 60 hours and 2 epic tales later, I can honestly say this new phase in the God of War franchise is the best yet. I don't think I've ever recorded so much footage for 2 games in my life. At almost every turn in both games, I kept thinking the same thing. This looks amazing, it would make a great video. I recorded almost 20 hours for each game. This video could be 2 hours long if I just randomly picked awesome scenes. These games are impressive at every turn. The most significant change to the God of War formula is the inclusion of Atreus, Kratos' son. In the first game, we see a distant relationship between the two, coming together out of grief. They build a funeral pyre for Faye, mother and wife respectively. It's a somber beginning, and a bit shocking if you've played any previous games in the series. Seeing a bearded Kratos trying to parent was a really brilliant gameplay and story twist. This is expanded on in the second game where you get to play as Atreus, having grown into a young man. Seeing this evolution through both games back to back was an absolute joy. Everything great about the combination of Kratos and Atreus was expanded on in Ragnarok. They somehow took a damn near perfect battle system and made it better. Even when taking on side missions and fighting waves of enemies, it never gets boring. At first, both games can feel pretty linear, but it doesn't take long for the world to open up to you. There's a long list of side quests, challenges, and activities to take on. Traveling in both of these games is made all the better by how gorgeous they are. I played both on the PlayStation 5, and even the 2018 God of War is impressive when compared to other games released today. Santa Monica Studio released a performance patch for the first game, so it holds up really well when even compared to Ragnarok. It's hard making content about this new era of the God of War series. It's really easy to spoil something great about the plot or gameplay. This is a credit to the games. Both will constantly put you on the edge of your seat. You'll never guess what happens next. In that way, I haven't played anything quite like these 2 epics. So who are these games for? There's a good chance you're watching this video because you're curious what all the fuss is about. Maybe you're a fan and want to bask in your post-game glow. In that case, hi, glad you're here. But for those curious and new to the series, both of these games are like pizza. Now bear with me a metaphor. Most people like pizza, right? Some of us more than others, but it's a pretty universally loved food. It's easy to eat and recommend. The difference here is that God of War and its sequel Ragnarok are one of the best pizzas you've ever had. Every ingredient is of the best quality. The proportion of each ingredient, precise, cooked to perfection. Even if you don't care for pizza, you'll probably like this one. If you've made it this far and are asking yourself, what kind of review is this? I don't blame you. My goal here at Why You Should Play is all in the name. I want to have conversations with you about why these games are worth your time. I don't write reviews. I think most games have something to offer, and often review scores will make people overlook a game. A 7 out of 10 doesn't sound all that appealing, but some of my favorite games were 7s. God of War and its sequel Ragnarok are labeled as action-adventure, hack-and-slash games. It does a disservice to reduce these games to their genre. Yes, the gameplay is focused on battle and the development of both Kratos and Atreus. What you're missing in that description is that these 2 games tell one of the most engaging and epic tales to ever grace a console. The story is expertly woven into the action. You'll never have that feeling that you need to skip a cutscene or move ahead. Any complaint I have is minor and not really worth mentioning. Every aspect of these games was carefully crafted, and that work shows. It doesn't get more AAA than this. The entirety of this video is essentially a long way to tell you that you should not pass up the opportunity to play these games. This is why you should play God of War and its sequel, Ragnarok.
There's nothing for us here.
Thanks for watching. Take care of each other, gamers. I'll see you soon.